Nolan-Smith here from the School of Visibility. And I always start and then I realize Facebook takes a minute to get itself sorted. So, hello, lovely to see you. Those of you who don't know me, I'm Samantha Nolan-Smith, the CEO and founder of the School of Visibility. And today I want to talk about maintaining visibility or building, if maintenance is not yet a thing, creating and then maintaining visibility momentum in 2022. If you happen to be in our Women Speaking Up Facebook group, it's a free Facebook group. Feel free to jump over if you are not there yet. Just look for Women Speaking Up as the Facebook group and you'll see us. If you happen to be over there, I've done a video similar to this over there, so don't watch two videos. If you have not seen that video, let me take you through 6 core things to do to build and maintain visibility momentum in 2022. Really important to have that momentum if you want to see your business growing effortlessly, easily, and joyfully. So, step number 1, of course, somebody has just started doing something very noisy outside. I'm going to keep talking because I've got my earpods on. I'm going to close the door so it's a bit less noisy. So, but let me talk about step number 1 is make it a priority. So this sounds like it should be an easy thing. It sounds like it should be something that is really obvious. And yet, when we have any sort of block to being visible, we do not prioritize that thing. So when you have visibility blocks of any sort, what ends up happening is you tell yourself, of course, I need to make visibility a priority. Now, visibility, you might not use the word visibility. You might use the word list building or expanding my reach or becoming recognized as an authority or growing the download numbers on your podcast show, or anything in that realm. I just couch all of that under the label of visibility. When you have visibility blocks, when you're either fearful on some level of expanding your reach, being seen by more people, being heard, potentially being criticized for your opinions, your perspectives, being challenged on those, when crowds feel really anxiety inducing for you, when you don't want people, when you're feeling like it's just safer to stay small and quiet and be a small target, then you will just never prioritize visibility. It won't happen. So you have to do the block clearing work first in order to then get to a point in your visibility journey where you go, yes, visibility is a priority. I'm going to work on it. It's going to be something that I create time for every single week in my business schedule. So that's number 1. Step number 1, make it a priority. Step number 2, have a visibility strategy. A strategy is essential. Now, you can call it your communication and marketing strategy. I call it the visibility strategy because I want to keep visibility, having the brand visible to the world, at the forefront of my mind. And your strategy will look at, how do I grow awareness about my business and my brand and my work? If you're a creative, it's how do I grow awareness about my creative output? If you're an NGO, it's how do I grow awareness about the movement that we're creating, the good work we're trying to do in the world, whatever it is. How do I grow awareness? How do I add value such that people want to keep coming back and that they tell other people about it? This is part of your visibility strategy. How do I do that? And then how do I build connection within my community, with my community, and within my community? Because strong communities, strong connected communities are really, really the key to a sustainable business and to turning your visibility efforts from something that feels like really a slog to it's really easy because everybody else is doing it for you, because they're a really strong community. They have their own networks and they're telling everybody about you, and all of a sudden there's much less for you to do on that front. So your visibility strategy needs to include all of these things and have a clear sense of what is it that I'm going to achieve each season. One of the things that we're doing with our students inside Women Speaking Up in December is we're creating Women Speaking Up is our signature mastermind and visibility leadership program. And in December, we're having a done in a day retreat, and we're spending the day preparing our visibility strategies for 2022. And our program is now open, by the way, for enrollment. If that sounds like it's something we only offer to our students, but if you know, I really need help creating one of those strategies, that would be really great. And it would be amazing to just dedicate one day to doing it, where I'm in the room with lots of other people and I've got Samantha to help, to mentor, to facilitate, and I've got a group of women who I can brainstorm with, and I can really think through some elements of this in a really good way. If you want to have that experience, that's part of the Women Speaking Up experience that's on offer right now. You can join us, and that will you will be able to then have your strategy done before the end of this calendar year. Women Speaking Up, by the way, is at womenspeakingup.com. So having a strategy, prioritizing visibility, having a strategy. Third thing is, I've just taken people who enrolled with us for 3 days to visibility. It was a free coaching event, and we had a process that we went through. It went like this: clear the blocks, build the habits, take action. So the third step is, after making it a priority and having a strategy, is okay, so as you're unrolling or implementing your strategy, you want to keep clearing your blocks that are coming up. So that requires some level of self-awareness of, oh, this is a block. This is what it looks like when a block comes up. And what do I do about it? And where are the tools? So clearing that out and continually clearing. I find that visibility is the kind of thing that you need to be clearing on a regular basis, because as you expand, you hit a new level of block, and then you expand again, you hit a new level of block, you expand again, you hit a new level of block, and you need to keep clearing and keep clearing. So clearing the blocks. Then the second step, really important, build habits that help you to be visible and not invisible. So that first of all requires you to see the habits that are keeping you invisible, and then to reverse that so that you have a series of habits that then stack on one another and on one another and one another, and then visibility becomes this really easy thing because you're in the habit of taking visibility action. So clear the blocks, build the habits, and then take action, but do it in that order. Otherwise, what happens is you try to take action, you hit a block, you start to push, or you struggle in some way, unnecessary drama is created in your life, and everything gets slowed right down. But when you clear the blocks first and then build habits that are aligned to the things that you say you want to do, then the action unfolds quite easily from there. And then finally, track results. This becomes important because you can get into this mindset of, I don't know if anything's working. I've seen people so many times, I've heard people so many times saying, I'm just doing these things and I've got no idea whether they're making any difference or not. And that, in the 21st century, with the level of data that we have available, that is unnecessary. It is completely unnecessary to live in the dark about what's the effectiveness of, are my strategies working or not. So sometimes what that means is you're just not quite sure what to track. You're not quite sure what data to use, or you've got some resistance to actually tracking data. All of those things you can treat as blocks, clear them out. Obviously, within Women Speaking Up, we have a whole section on what visibility indicators you might want to track depending on what strategy you're using, and then encourage students to set up a very simple tracking system so that each month they have a sense of, well, what is it that I said I wanted to achieve? What will tell me whether or not this is an effective strategy? And then what do I need to do? And within Women Speaking Up, we do these cycles. So we do 90-day cycles where we start the cycle clear on what is it that I want to achieve from a visibility perspective for the next 90 days. And then we work through clearing out any implementation problems, both internally and externally. So start with what is the resistance to actually doing the thing I said I wanted to do. Then we look at, now that you're in it, are there problems you need? Is there strategic or tactical advice that you need? What is it that's the next thing for you? And then we wrap the cycle up with, and what is it, how did things go, what worked, what didn't work, and what do you want to build on for the next cycle. So you could take that over the course of a year, where the first cycle you decided, I want to work on consistency, because I know that's been a problem for me. So that's very much about habit building. I need to build the habit of writing my blog every week, emailing my community every week, publishing that, excuse me, my throat, publishing that. I just had the Buja mix just before I got online. That was like, it just caught right there. Anyway, so first season might be, I want to work on consistency. There's something that I'm not being consistent with, and I want to really embed that first of all. So first season's consistency. Once that consistency is created, then the second season might be, now that I'm consistent with that, I want to add a piece to my visibility approach. So maybe it's, I've always been really interested in really nailing Pinterest, and I haven't done it. And so this season is about Pinterest. It's all about Pinterest and getting traffic from Pinterest. Then the third season, you've got this consistency, Pinterest is working. And then the third season might be, okay, now I'm going to finish that book, or I'm going to start pitching myself for speaking gigs. I want to do a TED talk, whatever it might be. That's the season to really focus on that. And then maybe the fourth season is, and now I want to be a guest on lots of shows, television, with journalists, podcasting, YouTube, whatever it is, and I'm going to focus on that. So you see over the course of the year how it's not like this mad sprint for 8 weeks and we're going to try and learn everything you can about visibility in 8 weeks and then left to implement on your own. It's a container, Women Speaking Up, where we hold you for the year as you work through a cycle, and then you build on that, and then you build on that, and then you build on that. And in between all of that, there's a whole raft of personal development programs that you can do, so that you, the person, are becoming the person that you need to be in order to grow the business. If you can't leave yourself behind in that process, because you and the business are symbiotic. And so as the business grows, you need to grow. As you grow, the business needs to grow. So you go back and forth, and you can focus on, there's a whole lot of different leadership development programs within Women Speaking Up. You can access all of those and work your way through those as well. And then we have live workshops every 2 weeks to support you in that process. And again, it's structured in a way that enables you to do those 90 day cycles, and really integrate that into your business operations. I didn't want one of those programs where you're trying to do all your business operations and then you're taken out and you're focusing on this other thing over here, this thing you're studying, and then you're going back into your business. I wanted to integrate the program within your business so that it doesn't take you out. It draws you further into your business, and it focuses your mind on the things that are most important to focus on. So that's what Women Speaking Up is about. It's open now until next Thursday. If you are interested to know more, either DM us or have a look at womenspeakingup.com and you'll see what's available there. I'm around for the next week to answer any questions that you have about the program and whether you feel like it's the right thing for you. It's really the right thing for you if you know that visibility is the thing or you suspect that visibility is the thing that's stopping you getting to the next level. If you're frustrated with the level of sales you're having, if you're frustrated that you're speaking and you don't feel like anybody hears you or you're making a difference, you feel like you're broadcasting but not engaging, if you feel like you are you know that you want bigger reach, but there's just something that's stopping you from getting there. Any of these things are connected to visibility, and if you're having any of those challenges, that's what Women Speaking Up is about. If you're having trouble with your messaging, if you feel like, well, I'm trying to be visible but it's just really uncomfortable, or I'm doing it in a way that everybody else seems to think is a good way to be visible but I don't like it, we look at that too. We do have a whole program inside Women Speaking Up about learning your visibility personality, what will work best for you, what's most natural for you, so that when you are visible, you're not exhausted by your efforts. You're just showing up naturally, exactly as you would any other time, because you're not putting on somebody else's visibility hat and then trying to make it fit for you. What you're doing is saying, this is me, this is how I naturally communicate and show up in the world, this is what makes me feel good. And therefore you do more and more of it because you're in your stream. You're not trying to paddle up somebody else's stream. So let me revisit what there is. I want to give you all the steps to building momentum, and then either you might want to take them and run with it, or you might want to join us in Women Speaking Up and have a facilitated community group coaching experience where we support you through that process so that you can really come to live it, to breathe it, and then embody it in a way that means you'll just forever then be using this process without even thinking about it too much. So the steps are: make visibility a priority. That's the first hurdle. Have a visibility strategy. That's the second hurdle, actually being clear and strategic about how you're going to be visible. Some people are clear they want to be visible, but then they take a bit of a scattergun. I'll just try 7 different things and hope one of them works. So having a visibility strategy. We'll do a done in a day retreat in December. You'll have your strategy. If you decided to join us for Women Speaking Up, you'll have your strategy done by the end of the year. You'll be ready to roll it out from 1st of January 2022. Clear blocks. That's a whole game in and of it's not really a game, but that's a whole body of work in and of itself. It's why we do loads and loads of block clearing. Every single live workshop we do, which is every 2 weeks, there's a clearing component, a block clearing component, because blocks are coming up all the time. This is the way that I have found, after over a decade of working with women around block clearing, that is the kindest and most compassionate way to do it, because it clears a bit, then you integrate that, then you clear a bit, then you integrate that. What happens if you do a really massive clearing and then you do nothing for 6 months is then you have to do another really massive clearing, because you kind of built up all this stuff. But if you just have this consistent, and now I've cleared that, and now I've cleared that, and now I've cleared that, then what happens is you just turn around one day and you realize, oh, I feel completely different about visibility than I did 4 months ago or 6 months ago. And it's a really beautiful, gentle process, as opposed to this like, go and do it all in one, overcome them all in one hit. So make it a priority, have a strategy, clear the blocks, build a habit. I forgot what that one was. Build your visibility habits, take action, track your progress. That is all you need to know in terms of they're the pieces you need to know. They're the actions you need to take. And of course, doing those things often is, then we get into all of the internal why aren't we doing it. So we can learn the strategy theoretically, but then at some point we may well need somebody to support us as we go through. Maybe we have trouble seeing our blocks. Maybe creating the strategy is challenging. Maybe the habits, we're not seeing the habit that's actually unraveling our efforts or undermining our efforts. That's where a coach comes in. That's my job. So it's just like the best analogy, I think, is we all know that really the best way to stay healthy is to eat healthy food and to get some exercise. Like, that's all you need to know about healthy food in many ways. All the health coaches going, no, it's not, and all the PTs. But they're the basics, right? They're the basics. And yet So often we don't do it. We need assistance. We need the support. Women Speaking Up will give you support from me. We have a beautiful team that supports the women in the community, and we have the community itself. So you have layer upon layer upon layer of support, and what you end up with is you come into the program, you start with a quiz and an induction call with me. You do a quiz which tells you where you are in terms of the stages of visibility. There are different stages and different things to focus on at different stages. You identify where you are. Then you basically have in front of you a personal and business development plan for the next 12 months. So if it sounds like you would like that kind of support, and you would know that you would like your visibility strategy done by the end of the year, so that then you can just let it flow out from there, and you know that each time you come up against a barrier there, you've got a community, you've got support, you've got somebody and a group of people to support you with that, then that's what Women Speaking Up is all about. It's open now. It's just open for a week. We're at womenspeakingup.com. I would love to support you there. Please let me know if you have questions. Either DM us here or send us an email at hello@theschoolofvisibility.com. And I'll see you soon.